Hi there, welcome to the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. Today we're tackling a really tough subject. It's one that many pastors wrestle with at some point in their ministry. And here it is. When is it time to resign? Let's talk about it today. Hi there, my name is Todd Rhoades. I am one of the co-founders over at chemistrystaffing.com and your host here every day, every weekday anyway, for the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. Now, as I mentioned, today's conversation is about quitting, isn't necessarily about quitting when things get tough or running away from any challenges. We all know the ministry's hard work. There's always going to be some ups and downs, but there are times when leaving a congregation is not only the right decision, but it's also one of the healthiest decisions that you can make for both yourself and your congregation. Let's talk about it. How do you know when it's time to say goodbye? When is it time to resign? Here are a few things that I'd like to share that I think could be good indicators or good things for you to consider when you're thinking about, is it time? Is it just time? First is misaligned vision. What is your vision and what's the vision of the church? And if you find that your vision for the church's future is fundamentally different from that of the leadership of the church or the church members itself, if there's a mismatch there, it may be time to move on. If there's constant conflict over direction, that can lead to frustration and burnout for everybody involved. If you think it's a case of misaligned vision that you're just not going to be able to get on the same page, yeah, it may be time to resign and to look for different opportunities. So misaligned vision is the first one. Second one is, are there any ethical or moral conflicts? If you find yourself compromising your values or your integrity just to fit in with the church that you're at, or if you are witnessing any unethical behavior that goes unchecked, it's a major red flag. We talk to candidates a lot of time that say, I'm a part of a church that they're doing this, and I just don't think it's right. And I brought it to their attention, and they're just not going to change. Well, if it's an ethical or a moral conflict, and you feel like you're compromising your values or your integrity to stay there, it might be time. It might be time. Okay, number 3 is toxic culture. Church environment many times can be filled with negativity and gossip or abuse, and it's not only harmful to you, but it can be also detrimental to the overall health of the ministry. Now, there's always going to be certain things that happen, and there's going to be problems everywhere. But if you just determine in your heart that, man, this is just a toxic place, and I've done my best to make it better, but I don't know. It's in the DNA, and I don't know if I can make it any better. I've done all I can. Then it might be time to consider handing in your resignation. Number 4 of 7 here, lack of support. If you feel unsupported or unappreciated or undermined in your leadership or by your leadership team or people in the church, it's really difficult to put your effort in on a long-term basis. Anybody can put up with a situation or lack of support for a short period or for periods of time. But if on the long haul, if you feel like you're unsupported or unappreciated, and it's one of the things that we found in our Healthy Church Staff assessment the last 2 years that we've done it, is that many people on staff feel unsupported. If you feel like that for a long period of time, it may be time to look for something different. Number 5, what personal toll is your ministry having on you? When ministry starts to take a severe toll on your physical health or your emotional health or your spiritual health, or if it's impacting your family negatively, it could be time to reassess your priorities and to reassess if this is really a good, healthy, long-term fit for you. 2 more. Let's go through these quickly. Number 6 is closed doors. If you've tried everything to address the issues that you've got, the issues at hand, but doors still seem like they remain closed, there's no movement, it might be a sign that it's time to move on and allow someone else to lead. So closed doors. And then number 7 is divine prompting. Sometimes God just gives us that clear sense that it's time for a change. It could be a persistent nudge. It could be a closed door. It could be a new opportunity that arises. And we talk to a lot of candidates that say, everything's going great. I love my church. I love my people. I love my job. But for some reason, I just feel like God's moving me. It's just given me this sense that there's something different out there that I need to be looking for. So sometimes everything's going great, but you just feel this divine calling, that prompting that maybe you should think about what's next. Okay? So regardless, whether it's misaligned vision or moral or ethical conflicts or toxic culture or lack of support, personal toll, closed doors, divine prompting, no matter what it is, making the decision to turn in that resignation letter to resign is never easy. And a lot of times it can be filled with guilt and grief and second guessing and uncertainty. But it's important that God's not surprised by any of this. He's got a plan for your life and your ministry. Sometimes that plan involves a change of scenery. If you're wrestling with this decision to resign, I encourage you to seek wise counsel from trusted mentors or friends, maybe even a counselor. Pray through this with guidance, weigh your options carefully. And always, man, if you need someone to talk to, a lot of times you don't have anybody else in your life other than your spouse, maybe, that you can talk to. You don't have somebody that you can talk to that is going to shoot straight with you, maybe doesn't have a dog in your fight. If you need somebody to talk to, reach out to me anytime. Be happy to touch base with you. You can catch me anytime. Podcast at chemistrystaffing.com. Okay, here's the bottom line for today, church leader. Man, God is not finished with you yet. I'm firmly convinced of that. No matter who you are, there are new adventures and new challenges, new opportunities waiting just around the corner. We just have to trust it. Those new adventures might be where you are. They might be in a totally different place, totally different scene. But God does have a plan for you, and I'm glad that you're a part of it. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back here tomorrow on the Healthy Church Staff Podcast. Thanks so much for listening.